What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Just got back from Mayfest, and I had some Hungarians and some bratwurst with some kraut, some cabbage, a wide variety of tasted many different beers. Enjoyed some polka music. It was a great day, but as you know, the news never stops, and thus I don't stop. I appreciate everyone stopping by on a Saturday, and if you haven't yet, please click that red subscribe button down below the video. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. Now, if you follow my channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm pretty woke, that I'm pretty progressive. I obviously believe that, you know, when it comes to issues or news in the LGBTQ community, I've always been very clear that I believe people are born that way and that I wish them the best and that everyone deserves to have a chance to be happy on this planet. I also believe that there is a social currency around the LGBTQ community that drives people to falsely identify as being a part of it. Two things can be true at the same time. And Bill Maher dared to make that statement last night, and people are absolutely losing their minds. And we're going to get into all that after a quick word from this video's sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Left to Survive. Look, I'm always looking for a new game to get into mobily or on my PC. And Left to Survive is a TPS action zombie shooter. Game characters fight against merciless dead and other players, build fortifications, develop their own base, attack enemy headquarters from the air, and send terrible zombie bosses right to their grave. What I really love about this game is being able to pop in and pop out, but also really get into something super intense in that period of time. If I had to give a tip, I would make sure to spend your time leveling up the town center and understanding the different strategies and what to fortify. You can install Left to Survive free using my links in the description box, or scan the QR code, use special promo code START22 for my subscribers and get an exclusive bonus 10 weapon key, 25 XP boosts, and 50 gold. Hurry up, the rewards are only available for the next 2 weeks. Give the game a try. I'm sure you're gonna love it. Available mobily and on your PC. Check out the game. Helps the channel, and it's also fun, and you've got really nothing to lose, so check that out. Now, real-time Bill Maher claims the rise of LGBTQ may be sparked by the need to be trendy. Bill Maher touched on one society's third rails tonight on HBO show Real Time, talking about the rise of the LGBTQ community in his New Rules editorial at the end of the show, noting that polls have documented an exponential increase in those who claim LGBTQ status. He asked whether people should be allowed to ask, what's up with that? Now, certainly you can make the argument that, you know, that community has never been more accepted. So there's more people. I mean, some weirdos like worship it. Allies, they call themselves. It's weird. But you know, so certainly more people are coming out because it's obviously more accepted now than it was 50 years ago. But it's also 2020. It's not like it's 1955. It's not exactly bold to come out anymore. I just don't, and people are doing it. Teachers are doing it. It's weird. All sorts of weird stuff around that. Anyway, it wasn't long ago that when adults asked kids what they wanted to be when they grew up, they meant a profession, Maher joked. He quoted a recent ACLU finding that claimed the controversy about various rights affects LGBTQ people more so than quote-unquote breeders. While allowing that everyone should always be mindful of respecting and protecting others, he said someone needs to say it. Not everything's about you. It's okay to ask questions about something very new and turn toward the trend of putting young kids on things like hormone blockers. Quote, "We're literally experimenting on kids," Maher claimed, adding that we don't know about the long-term effect, but logic tells you there's going to be some problems. Citing bone density, fertility, among other issues, it's not a lifestyle decision, he added. Maher added, upon an upcoming Pride Parade in New York has no gay men as grand marshals. That's where we are now. Gay men are not hip enough for gay pride, he added. Gay is practically cis, and cis is practically Mormon. He tried to make the case that polls indicate a rising in the community is trendy, saying teens know the prime directive is anything to shock and challenge the squares who brought you up. It's why nobody gets a nose ring at 56. Given in to requests Giving into requests for hormone blockers and body altering surgery is using kids as part of the culture wars, he claimed. I agree, by the way. And called for waiting. If you're a man who wants to experience life without a pair of balls, you can get married, he noted. Never forget that kids are very impressionable and very, very stupid, Maher said. A boy who thinks he's a girl maybe is just gay, or whatever Frasier was, noting that being a girl does not mean you have to act like Kardashian. And maybe if life makes you sad, then there are other solutions than hand me the junk saw. Quote, I understand that being trans is different. It's innate, Maher said. But kids do have phases. Kids are fluid about everything. If they know at age 8 what they want it to be, the world will be full of cowboys and princesses. Excellent point. He recalled, I wanted to be a pirate. Thank God no one scheduled me for eye removal and peg leg surgery. I think it's a very, very bold and brave statement to make, which is hilarious because it's totally common sense. But he's 100% right. The fetishizing of these communities for social media clout and things of that nature undoubtedly has an allure to people who are craving acceptance or craving something interesting about themselves. That's why we have milk gender or whatever, tree people. This is not something that is real, but it gets rewarded on social media for clout. Sure, some people are what they say they are, I think. Maybe even the majority. But the question isn't, his statement isn't that none of these people exist. It's that maybe we should be waiting until people are 18, 19, 20 before we let them chop parts of their bodies off. Earlier, Maher had a somewhat chilling discussion with former Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, who has a new book. Esper, who was eventually fired by Trump, had said that the former president, out of ordering troops, he had to talk former president out of ordering troops to do something very stupid. We'll see about that. Asked by Maher if hypothetical, if Trump runs for president and loses, then contests the election again, where the military would stand, Esper said, most stand with the American people and against any attempts at a coup. Now, in this, you see Bill Maher suggests kids are coming out as trans because it's trendy and being gay is not hip enough anymore. I can't say I disagree with that. I mean, look at the data. Baby boomers 2.6, Generation X 4.2, millennials 10.5, Gen Z 20% in 2020 or in 2000. In 2020, 41%? That can't be real. 41.6% of Americans identify. That can't be right. That has to be a joke. That has to be a joke. And then, of course, by 2060, it'll be 100%. 82.2% by 2040 and 100%. I mean, it's not... I don't think it's an unfair question to ask. And I do think that there's this weird, my 5-year-old identifies as they, them to own the conservatives. I remember, do you remember, I don't know if you're my age, you remember a lot of goth kids in college or high school, maybe even middle school. Can't say I've seen one in 25 years. I remember a lot of jocks who are now accountants. I remember a lot of people who were really into tattoos that end up getting them removed. People that were really into piercings. I used to have about 15 piercings in my ears, and I had all sorts of piercings. I think it's called the trachea in both ears. I was doing the zero gauge ear thing, skateboarding. All my piercings are gone except for a few, and all those holes are closed up. People have phases. Now, that isn't to invalidate people who maybe stay into certain things, but there's also something about the in crowd and places like TikTok that in general push this kind of stuff, that reward it, I should say, reward it with social media clout and things of that nature. See comments saying, geez, I would have never thought I'd agree with this man. Well said. I finally agree with him. Take a look at the census, Billy. It's because it shows whole group is less than 4% of the population. That there's true. I have entered an alternate universe where I am agreeing with Bill Maher much more often than ever before. Because people have to just kind of, you know, it's like, hey, just dial it back a little bit. Maybe let your kid grow up a little bit before you worry about injecting stuff on them or in them. You can be supportive without, you know, having them make life-altering decisions that will forever alter their life, that they may just grow out of. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you check out the sponsor, and we'll talk to you again real soon.